Just work. I mean, obviously, I'm getting married this summer, which is, I mean, it depends who you ask. It's kind of big. But other than that, yeah, it's just going to be work, getting ready for next season. Obviously, as soon as one season ends, it feels like there's a lot of time till the next one begins, but really it's kind of a blink of an eye type of thing. So, yeah, it's just going to be take a couple days here, then get back to it and get ready.
You mentioned the Thunder and you having a good line of communication in terms of what you need to improve on. What's been things that you need to improve on in the offseason this time around?
I think the biggest thing is just continuing to develop as a perimeter player. That's something that's an ongoing process for me. This is really only my third year that I've really worked at becoming a perimeter player. So continuing to work on that and develop those skills and try to become as good of an all-around player as I can be, improve my shooting. I mean, that can always get better, ball handling, defense. So I'm not trying to limit it to one or two things, just trying to get as good as I can overall.
Do you worry about your future at all? Is that something you think about, or just living now?
I don't. I think for me, honestly, it's if I put the work in, it'll all work out in the long run. I mean, I feel and I know that I have the ability and the skill to play in this league, and if I continue to put the work in, then it'll all work out. So no, doesn't get to me very much. I mean, obviously I'm human, so I have my days, but more often than not, yeah, I'm really comfortable with my future.
You discussed working on skills to be a more perimeter-oriented player, but as you look at the way that the league is trending, Harrison Barnes is a guy that's playing the power forward position, and more guys that size are playing that position. Do you feel like that you can still make an impact being a forward and a center as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think those being the positions that I've played most of my life, I have this kind of natural ability to be able to play them. Really confident in that ability. It's just, I think, along with that, the definition of what a power forward is changing a lot too, and I think it's definitely becoming a more perimeter-oriented position. So just being able to work on those skills and apply them as a power forward, I think will help me a lot.
When you watch tape of, say, like the Rockets series, do you see areas where you look at the tape and you say, I could help there, or I could do something there?
I mean, I look at myself first and foremost as a defensive player, and when you go against a team like the Rockets, it's such a high caliber offensive team. Anytime you feel like you could add some defensive, some help is good. So I think going forward and continuing to work on my abilities defensively and even offensively, I could be somebody that could help in situations like that.
When you say more perimeter-oriented, do you mean that offensively or defensively in terms of the ability to guard, to switch and guard a shooting guard or a small forward? Or what do you mean specifically, I guess?
I mean, really both. Defensively is huge too, though. I mean, obviously guarding a power forward is much different than guarding a shooting guard or a point guard. And the way that we play defense, especially with the way the league is trending, you switch 1 through 4 pick and rolls a lot. So being somebody that not only can guard a 4, but also be able to switch onto a point guard and be able to hold my own and get stops is really important.
Twitter savvy. I mean, are you aware of kind of this swell of support that's kind of gotten going in terms of people wanting to see what you can do because you haven't had that much of an opportunity with the Thunder?
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of it. It's obviously, it makes you feel good knowing that there's people out there that believe in you and there's people that have your back and want to see what you can do. So it's extra motivation to keep working, to get better, so that when my time does come, I can go out there and show what I can do and be somebody that can help this team.
John, so it seems like you got a call up almost at every opportunity this year from the D-League. Can you say how that time spent in the D-League has developed you, and if so, what specific areas can you say?
Yeah, I think you can ask any player. Like, you can work on drills all day, every day, but if you don't have the ability to apply them in a game setting, then it doesn't really help you. I think that's the biggest thing, is that I would come in every single day and I would work with the coaches and get better in drills and do all these things in a drill practice setting. But having the opportunity to play with the blue and apply them helped me a lot. It showed me, where it helped me find an identity in terms of my skill set and my abilities, as well as giving me a venue to work on the things that I'd been practicing and to apply them against some really good players.
What else are you up to this summer?
Not much, man. Just policing you, mostly. It's a full-time job.
So is getting married.
That's that too. That too.
That's a full-time job, too.
Yeah, seriously. It's in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I don't know if anybody in here has been. Yeah, it's beautiful. So, yeah, busy.
What about the honeymoon?
Honeymoon, TBD right now. I know. And it's.
What's the weirdest detail about planning a wedding you didn't think you'd have to stress over?
Oh my gosh, jeez. There's honestly so much. Drapery, whatever that is.
I don't know.
It's like, I guess, lighting on the ceiling, or like flowers. I don't see. I try to stay back. I have so little opinion on so many things, other than as long as I leave there married and everybody has a good time. But there's so much to it that I had no idea. I did pick the DJ though. I picked the DJ, and I think I did a good job. But fingers crossed on that one.
Not a band.
Not a band. No, I'm a DJ guy. You a band? Would you?
Be a DJ guy.
That's right. Millennial.
Josh,
Anything else for Josh?
How encouraging is it to see what happened with
Kristen this year, the way things worked out, being able to be called up from the D-League team, get a shot, a roster spot open up at the right time. How encouraging is that to you, to see that, knowing where you are, and he eventually got that call and stayed?
Yeah, it's very encouraging. I think it, first of all, a lot of credit to Samaje. Like, the work that he's put in and how talented he is really showed, and he got an opportunity and he didn't waste it. And it just shows that when you do put that work in and get that opportunity, you'll be ready and you'll be able to make an impact, and you can stick in this league. And he's helped make a name for himself and show that he can be here. And I hope to do the same thing.
Josh, you wrote something for your blog about kind of differences between a lifestyle and performance athlete. If you do get a kind of a crack in the NBA, it might not be a 36 minutes a night kind of deal. Is in some ways that sort of what you were referencing, that if you're a performance athlete, you make the best out of your 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and how do you do that, I suppose?
Absolutely. I think that's crucial. I think whatever you're given, you need to make the most out of it. I think that a lot of times people get caught up worrying more about exactly how many minutes they get rather than what they do with those. Whether it's 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 10, 20, whatever it is, I think whatever you're given, if it's on the low end of the spectrum, and if you take full advantage of that and make the most out of it, it's inevitable that that'll increase. So I think it's really important to not look forward too much. Think about where you are, stay in the moment, stay and be happy with what you have right there. Don't be satisfied. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being happy and being satisfied, but taking advantage of what you have and using it to the best of your ability and maximizing your opportunity.
Even in that specific moment, like on that specific possession, for 3 minutes worth of possession, how do you physically, mentally turn the switch to be able to impact the game in such a brief amount of time?
It's tough. It's a skill that you have to, I'm not perfect at it. I don't think there's very many people that are. It's just the ability to place like the utmost importance on every single second. Every second is the most important second there is because it's the only one you have. You know what I mean? It's a skill. It's really difficult, but I think if you're able to do that then that helps you maximize everything you have, maximize your time, and get the most out of every situation.
You've seen D-League, NBA from both sides a lot, but the two-way contracts and the higher salaries in the D-League, how do you think that's going to affect the D-League and I guess the G-League now and then in the NBA as well? What kind of effects do you think you'll see there?
I think we're going to see a lot of improvement. I think obviously there being increase in salary, inevitably it's going to attract players that may usually opt to go overseas for more money. It may draw them back in because of the fact that they can have a bigger salary here, and then the competition, obviously then with that the competition level rises, and I think you're going to get, because of that, players are going to get a lot better because they go against better competition every single night. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Do you think it's is it possible that like Brandon Jennings went overseas and Mudiay went overseas? Like, do you think it would be a possibility for a high school kid to just jump, because you could jump to the D League? Do you think that's something that we could potentially see?
I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised. Like I think 15 years ago, if somebody had asked if you'd ever see a guy go from high school to overseas, people probably would have been pretty skeptical and not imagined it happening. So I don't want to count it out. I could definitely see it happening with the way everything's trending, and the way that the G League is developing now. So I definitely can see that happening in the future.